Happy Wednesday, guys. Welcome to the Wednesday live stream. One and only O. How you doing, buddy?
Hey, Devin, how are you?
Wonderful, thank you. Tyler, Reef Keeper. O, what's going up in the chat? You're in the chat and in person. It's like double the fun.
I know, right?
I
Wait, why does
know.
it say #1 and crown next to me? What does that mean?
It means you're an all-star.
Does
Reef
it?
Keeper has a #2 in crown.
Yeah, I don't know what.
Maybe they're the first one in, or maybe you guys are like the
Ah,
top chatters, maybe? I don't know. Claudius
oh, it says
Reefer, welcome. #3.
says I'm a top fan. Ooh.
Ooh. All-star. I like it.
Oh, he's now
Number one.
#1.
Ooh. Maybe it's like the most participation in the chat, maybe? Film #2. That's great. I don't know what it means, but this will be good to find out. Offshore Miner, welcome. Reefing with O, welcome. I need to win. All right, we'll chat lots and we'll see if you can take it. So today we figured it'd be fun to talk about unconventional reefing, so stuff outside of the norm. Just before we went live, you're chatting about like kind of the issues of cooling tanks and chiller versus not chiller. And, you know, today is cooking outside of the AC pumping in the house, which works pretty well. But the window AC you're saying is a little bit more of a struggle to kind of lower the tank temperature.
So New York City, we all use wind. I don't have central air, so I use window AC. So this AC does a good job of keeping the room cool. But it doesn't keep the tank cool. So I have a Tunzi fan that keeps the tank 80, 81-ish. And then I have a chiller that kicks in. That'll go, beyond that. But if I try to use a chiller to keep my tank at 78, my electric bill is going to be $1,000. So I actually do run my tank at 80, 81 degrees-ish during the summer, which is really high. But I over the years as I've done it, I do realize that you got to have a ton of flow.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a little worried because I actually but I actually added a 4th Radeon over the tank, so now I have 4. So I have a ton of light, but I think you have to balance it with a ton of flow. I don't know. I've noticed that. Yeah, I don't know the biology behind it. It's just something I've noticed that when you're going to take the temperature that high, you have to make sure you have a like whatever you think the tank turnover ratio is, like go beyond that, go a level beyond that. But yeah, if I try to keep my tank at 80, if I try to keep my tank at 78 with a chiller, my gosh, it would be so expensive.
Oh yes. I don't have a chiller. I just result if it's too hot, like either fans or close all the windows and turn on the AC. I just noticed there's a bunch of weird little bugs on my window. Apparently they want the cold too. Yeah, so flow or fan airflow makes a massive difference. So you're just saying you're using the Tunzi fan on yours for cooling,
yes,
right?
I am. Mr. Greg Carroll is calling me. So
yes, good old Greg.
Hello, Greg. I'm currently streaming with Devin. Please call back or join the chat and you can reach me there. Thank you. Have a good evening.
Please enter the live stream chat to leave your message. How long does Alcatronic take to set up? 20 minutes probably, maybe a little more. The first time. You got to do the calibration and a few things, so yeah, probably a little bit more.
When you're setting up the Alcatronic, I know you and I have spoken privately about this. When you click the calibrate button, give it a few seconds. It's not instantaneous, because I messed up so many times when I click calibrate and I just thought it didn't work, and it took like 10 or I don't know if the software has gotten better, but it took like 10 or 15 seconds for the calibration process to start. It's not instantaneous. So I've wasted a ton of calibration solution and got frustrated that it wasn't working, but I just realized I was just being impatient.
Do you know what though? I don't know if it's like a network thing or what, but I had 2 and one of them was pretty darn quick and the other one had that weird little bit of delay between pushing and happening. So it was like 50-50 for me on which one out of the 2 of mine. Okay. Oh, just completely slightly off topic. We were talking about just getting like a Walmart fan or whatever for your tank. I'm obsessed with these ones from Dreo, and they make this like big one like this, and it blows air up, down, left, right, like it moves in all the directions. You put one of those babies at your tank, blowing across the water, and it will definitely cool it because it's like a cannon of air. It does a lot of wind.
You just have to tell me which model because I don't know. Well, we and I have spoken about this, but that's the fan I use. Like all my fan, even the one I was talking about adjusting,
Hmm.
they're all Dreo. Even the one in my kids' room, I like the one in my kids' room because it rotates on the base,
Yeah.
so it doesn't take up a lot of space. Yes, so
Oh
that's the
yeah. So
one I have. So, oh, that's the one you're talking about.
yeah, if you're already using the trail ones, you're solid.
Yeah, you just have to tell me which model you're talking about. But yes, I also saw someone's tank. I don't know if it's someone called Viking Reefer. He's on YouTube where someone actually mounted the tanks mounted some fans above their tank, and then
That was Cunningham's Reef, Ryan Cunningham. He had a
oh,
canopy and he literally had like a tower fan zap strapped in his canopy blowing down at it. But that's just so he could shove as much calc as humanly possible into his tank.
yep. Elisa, um, got a story about Elisa. Elisa, I was looking. There was a guy I was involved in a chat on Reddit with someone who went and he bought the. You remember Jake had that closed loop tank in Reef Builders, and he saw it posted for sale, and he went and bought it. And someone gave him there when he went to pick it up at the old Reef Builder studio. The guy was like, "Do you want the bathroom door?" And he's like, "Yeah, I'll take it." So he has a piece of reefing history, but of course, Jake Adams stuck a bunch of stickers to it, and of course, you know what sticker stuck out? The potato Idaho sticker. That was very easily recognized. I was like, "Oh, at least a sticker. The big potatoes there."
That's awesome. I love it.
Yeah. By the way, Elisa, I found a stash of your stickers. So the ATO does have a potato sticker. I know. Please bring me a couple more for California because I see you in California, but I did find a potato Idaho sticker, so it's front and center. Devin, I need ReefDude stickers.
You should have asked me. I could have given you some last time I saw you.
No, well, there's
All right,
two
all right.
choices. Either when you send the Red Dragon controller, or when I see you in California.
The jury's still, but sounds good.
Yeah.
Would you calibrate Neptune Trident to Hannah or their fluid? I would use their fluid because it already has all the parameters on it and you're calibrating multiple things. So I would use theirs. That's all I've ever used.
No. I have a large house fan zip tied to shelf that blows down. Yeah, I
Yep.
used to use those Amazon fans, those Walmart clip fans, and of course they'd rust after a year. They're 10, $12. Well, they were 10, $12.
Yeah, the Drails are not cheap. They're like $100, but they're like wicked. They're
Yes.
quiet. They move a lot of air. But if you want cheap too, like just computer fans, like even those will make a decent difference.
I have one in my sump, but I would need to do something particularly special to mount it to my but there's a particular fan that's made for you to put in moisture enclosures.
Hmm.
It even comes with a controller. I'm going to tell you the name because I think I've had a couple of these and the only time I've had one break is when I actually dropped it in water and it actually just started making noise. But the top comes off on clips. That's it, even the thing with the Dreo fans. Like they're so easy to clean because you can
Mm.
take the grill off. I'm going to tell you the name of this fan. You can even buy a controller or a humidity monitor.
What I was doing for the longest time, my water box, I was using Noctua industrial fans, which are fairly, I don't know if they're waterproof, but they're fairly watertight. But
This
they're kind of loud, so then I had to add a controller to it to dial them down and make them quiet. But they moved a good chunk of air, and they were pretty good.
this one is called the AC Infinity Cloud Ray. It's a grow tent clip fan. Um, so I just have to get creative about clipping it to
Mm.
my overflow. I was thinking of leaving the overflow cover off. Um, Maybe put a reducing bushing and put something in the overflow, clip it onto the overflow and let it blow. I'm gonna but the only thing is that the overflow is going to be exposed, and
Yep.
there's some splashing. You're gonna hear some noise, but um, yeah, I just need additional cooling. That's all I need.
No, it's a good way. Even putting one over your sump, you'll get evaporation or where the I showed these off before. I think these things are kind of a cool design where you can just hang it on the edge of your glass and then
Yeah,
you have a
I
fan
tr-
inside. And it's just
yeah
like a
I try.
stealthy way to do it. Because then, you're looking at your tank, you only see that. Very
Who
minimal.
makes the okay now? Who make you and I think we've had this conversation with it. There's Harry's Aquatics. I remember
Yes.
Harry's Aquatics used to make those. Where did you get that?
I think I stole his model originally. It's on his website.
Because it sold out and it doesn't, because he used to do these and sell them, and
Yeah,
it came
free STLs on
you
his
could put
website.
them to the
I took his and modified it.
I don't know what an STL. Come on, I
You
don't
need
have
a 3D printer. Okay, here's the link to Harry's website with his free STLs. So I took that and modified it, and this is like a Noctua industrial fan, which is a bit loud on full speed. So I got a fan controller and just dialed it down a bit. But this moves like a good chunk of air, and it looks nice on the tank, right? It's not like obtrusive.
Someone, not gonna say names. The name rhymes with Taro. Send me a picture. I guess he's listening. He's like, now that's a fan.
Is that the Tunesy?
Yeah.
Yeah. I haven't done it yet, but the other thing I was debating is putting fans between each one of my radions, letting them blow downwards.
Yeah, you have a canopy?
You know what? I might actually be making one. So I don't have a canopy, but my wife still complains about like the light spill, because whenever she take pictures of the kid, it's always like blue cast in the room. So I was thinking I might get like 6 to 8 inches of like PVC board and just make like a big U shape and just like float it on top of my light bar. So I might actually make a little canopy. I've been toying with this idea.
I know you can see a little piece of it, but I actually got these light shades that they sit over the radions. I'm not even gonna position the camera because that'll lead to a whole bunch of other things. But actually, let me go take one off.
I'll expand. I can expand the view.
No, it's all right. Give me 1 sec. I'll go take one off and bring it. All righty.
Dun dun dun. Organic Canadian snow. Man, it is toasty out here today. It is like 32 degrees, which is what in Fahrenheit? That's like 90-ish. It's toasty. Might even be hotter. My car said 36, which is 96. So it's pretty darn hot here today.
So the top of my tank is a little bit messy, but essentially what I do is I have these light shades, and you can see that they're made for different. So I have 2 clusters of radions. So this would go on one side, and then the opposite one would be printed with the opposite would go on the other side. So you essentially have the front and the sides shaded. And then if you needed to extend it, there's some extensions that would clip on.
That's cool. How do you like those overall?
When I'm sitting in my living room, I'm not seeing so now we would have seen the light in the camera.
So
under normal circumstances.
Mo Reef, I'll send you some better ones though. So you may have some options. So here's a question. I could 3D print something and make a full shade for mine, or I can get some of that like PVC board and just do like a big U shape and just figure out how to like level it across my floating light bar and just hide it all.
I saw I was watching a video this morning in my, when you wake up state and you don't have coffee yet.
Yep.
I think it was Vikings Reef, where someone was trying to like frame his tank, and he made like a big thing from expanded PVC. We're talking like he just built like, it wasn't even like a canopy, it was expanded PVC, and he literally just took something and pushed it up against the tank, so it hid the sump, the side, so all you saw was a frame of the tank. So I was actually thinking of that. My wife would love that if I just you see all this mess that you're seeing to the left? I'm going to get like a big thing that you just put, and it has perfect cutouts just for the tank. Well, so when you put it there.
I'm going to grab mine just to show you, because you're saying they're magnetic. Like, that's what mine are.
K13 said, get a new wife. Well, I will send you some better ones.
Homegrown Frags, what's up? So the ones I designed,
and sell them because
I made them super slim intentionally because I don't like the big chunky look on it. But I put magnets in mine, so it just sucks right onto the original mounts.
Oh, that mimics the magnets. So what I did the first time I did this was I got a bunch of diffusers and snapped like 4 diffusers together.
That's how I did it first.
But I wanted something with a little bit more flair, and that's why I did.
Yeah. See, these look sexy. I even matched the contour angle to the Radeon, so it marries it almost perfectly. And if you're standing there, you don't see the lights. But if you're
Yeah.
sitting at the table or somewhere, they're not thick enough because I made them low profile on purpose. Then you can still see if you're sitting at the table. So I was like,
I need to be able to sit where I am now or
Yep.
a little bit lower and not, because the tank is in my living room, so I need to be able to watch TV. Yeah.
yep,
Yeah.
low profile to balance. Yeah, 100%. So I don't know. I guess that's the question. Do I make these chunkier, or do I make a little like floating canopy that hangs out on my light bar?
To be honest, I think my next step is a floating canopy.
Yeah.
Because you do get some light loss here, and I think it just hides the wires. I'm thinking of floating canopy, maybe expanded PVC.
Yeah. Expanded PVC. Yeah. So do you know like adaptive reef controller boards? I'm thinking that stuff, but a thinner one.
Yeah, that's what.
Yeah.
I've
Like a thin one though. I'm thinking if I get 6 to 8 inches, whatever it is, just like 2 strips in one piece and make a big U, and a couple cross braces, and then I just gotta like glue it together and figure out where to set it above my life bar so it's level.
They sell them at hang on a second. I'm gonna so whatever you're looking for, it is available, Devin. Because you can't see it. You can't see it in this clip that we're seeing, but right behind my chair here is you can see this little light. That's my Abiz A200. And you can see my Ecotech controllers on the wall back here. It's hard to do.
Yeah.
But I bought the 1/4 inch. So
That's what I'm thinking.
because it wasn't thick enough. So my LFS, the guy at my LFS, I'm not very handy. So he just glued 2 1/4 inch pieces together.
Yeah.
And he'd use like a piece of wood and cut it and made me like a French cleat.
Nice.
Wasn't sexy, but it worked for what, because it was a regular adaptive reef controller board would not fit because it's such a narrow space.
Yeah.
But it's available. I don't remember if I bought it from Amazon. I'm looking. I'm searching my Amazon history. I don't remember if I bought it from Amazon or if he bought it from
Home Depot or somewhere. Or...
Yeah.
Okay.
My gosh.
ReefKeeper. Shout out to sponsor Ecotech Marine. One of my G4 Radeons went out. They couldn't repair it. They gave you 40% off a new one. That's sweet. That's awesome.
Yeah. Expanded PVC sheets. Yep, they do sell them. Yep.
Yeah.
Yes, ReefKeeper. I love stuff like that. I think stuff like that happens a lot more than people think. Sometimes you say something like that, people think, listen, whenever anyone asks me what's the best companies with the best customer service, Ecotech Marine /AI, probably, to me, my top. Okay, that's a good question. What would be, in terms of someone who uses a ton of equipment across all the different, right now at this moment, because it could change, what are your top 5 companies in terms of support where you don't even think twice about buying their products because of support?
I mean, obviously Ecotech AI that you just mentioned. Like I've used them for years, and yeah, their support is like probably one of the best. They're obviously a sponsor of the channel now, which is wicked, but I've also used them for years and years before they were. But anytime I've ever had an issue, contact them and they're on it. Like they're awesome.
Yeah, my wife, I would do it also. It would be at the top of my list also because my wife, especially as someone who travels, I think when I looked at as someone who travels, my wife loves the fact that there's a phone number and she can call between the hours of 9 to 5 and someone can assist. So that's really good. Also would be Tunzi. I mean, I know I'm someone who buys a ton of stuff.
I've never contacted Tunzi support, but I know you've talked them up a few times.
Oh my! I bought this. I'm sorry. I probably folded the letter nicely, but I bought it. I know Roger, and I'm not talking like I fill out support or send emails like I'm a regular person. Not even the same thing with Ecotech. Like I'm not calling in a favor. Like I call the number and Roger sent me this and sent me a handwritten note that says, "Thank you, O, for being a good customer." Like, obviously he knows who I am, but I didn't reach out. I bought this on Amazon.
Hmm.
The Tunzi for the osmolator, the extension cable.
Oh, I need one of those.
Yeah. Yes. So you can actually, I think this is a 5 meter. So you can actually put it farther. Yes. We spoke about this. It's now available on Amazon.
Oh,
And he sent me some
perfect.
bacteria. Ceche.
Yeah, they're solid.
I will say this, not that the thought, not that the thought crossed my mind to do anything nefarious, but I was at a show, and New York show, and I was helping someone, and my Ceche Ultra Zero,
Hmm.
someone stuck it in sand. So the next day I filled out a support. Hey, my impeller. I got a tracking number. And I remember thinking, like, okay, you didn't ask me for any verification or anything. And the response I got was like, the pump hasn't been out for a year yet. So everyone who has this pump, it's under warranty. So why even? I was like, fair
I
enough.
appreciate that.
I filled out the support ticket, and I got a tracking number before any other follow up.
That's awesome.
So and I've had to deal with Tunzi Ceche support. So Ceche, Tunzi, Ecotech would be like my top. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I would agree. They're all super solid and stand behind their products, which is awesome.
Yeah.
Okay. Unconventional things for reefing. One thing that I've always done too is put auto feeders in my sump. I've done that on a lot of tanks in the past, which I know is not the normal, but I do that so I can hide it and the return pump can suck it up and spit it back onto the tank. Obviously, it doesn't work if you have a manifold and other stuff feeding off it, but if you just have your return pump, it's a good way to hide it.
Yes. I have one single. You told me about that. I have one baffle. I have no baffles in my sump. It's just one big chamber, so that would not work.
My original
There's
one,
ways.
I
You
used a
told me.
funnel and a tube, so it directed it right in front of the intake. So the
Yeah,
suction
but
got
I
it.
also have a manifold, and it goes through a UV sterilizer. So I don't think it would work in my instance for me. But yeah, okay, that's a good one.
Yeah, that's a good
That's
one.
a good one. Elisa said we need a new updated Neptune feeder. Agreed.
The quieter one.
So
That's all
loud.
we care about. I've always wondered too. I should do it one day. Like if you pop it apart and fill it full of like grease it up and like lube it up or whatever, like would that make it quiet?
Elisa, I want phones lens Maxspec. You're not posting anything.
Yeah, they're good. They're handy. Miguel making me spend money. Yeah, man, those fans are awesome. Like it's probably overkill for cooling a reef tank, but it works well. I like them because they move a ton of air and they're super duper quiet.
I know.
It's good. And now this become an obsession. So I've been slowly like replacing all the fans with it because you can control them in an app. And like I have a
I
stream
know.
deck on my desk and I have like a shortcut that turns it on from like a button on my desk. So I don't even need the remote.
Really?
Oh yeah, you can like be like, okay, if you really want to get fancy with home automation stuff, you can be like, okay, if it's above a certain temperature, turn on the fan, and like you can do cool stuff.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
No, I know.
Someone said he just bought the Manta Systems frozen food
Let me
feeder.
know what it is. I'm assuming you don't have it yet, but if you do, let me know. I'm really curious.
Oh, is that the one you have to pre-order on Indiegogo?
Or is that the one that was at Wrap, the big boy?
That was the one that was at Wrap, yes.
Yeah, I thought so.
Yeah.
Yep.
Ooh, Reefkeeper Wrap is coming fast.
I know that these dates are questionable. I still gotta dig into this one.
Wait, you're not.
Well,
oh
the
my
people
gosh.
that are normally my house sitters are on their own trip at this time, so this is still to be determined.
You don't need a house sitter. You have a
I
controller.
have fish tanks. I have dogs. I have stuff.
Oh, you have.
This is the problem. Yes. So who normally stays at my house is away at those dates. So I'm still need to figure out if I can work this somehow or not.
Yes, that's the issue with
Yep.
the pool view king.
I made my own thawed food feeder, but I like the frozen idea of frozen. Using the little fridges too works pretty well. Like I made one with a buddy a while ago. I did a video on it. We took like one of those pop can fridges. We drilled a hole in the lid. We put a Versa on it to basically feed the chilled, thawed frozen food.
I saw the other one. What's the name of the frozen food feeder? I don't remember, but I've seen it in person. I know my friend Dupree has it. I've seen it in person a couple of times. That one, I am. That one, I'm interested in.
The thawed food, you can use the can coolers. Yeah, so those work well. Like I've seen people make them with like wine chillers. You know, I use a little pop fridge. There's a few different ways you can work it. With my one buddies, like if he's gone for a while, like the fridge wasn't quite as cold, so we throw an ice pack in there with the fridge, and that actually made it work really well.
So I guess California, I'm thinking at this point now, California is not for you, right? You're not.
Me?
Yeah.
Well, depends on house sitter situation.
Okay.
Yep.
All right.
Dun, dun, dun. The food goes bad after like 2 weeks. Yeah, you kind of got to rotate it out, or you know, have someone that can just pop in a couple new cubes into your mixture. But yeah, the actual frozen ones are kind of cool, where they just eject the little cube down. The other thing too, if you don't want to be quite as extreme, Nios makes a preserved mysis that does not need to be refrigerated, so you can just literally put that on a doser.
They have?
They do. Nios makes a mysis.
Ooh.
That's the other thing I've debated. I don't know why it's harder for me to find it here, but I've seen it in the States lots. Aqua Killer, my favorite duel. Thank you.
Interesting.
So you could, that's the easiest way, is the Nios liquid foods on a doser. Yep. Or just use Reef Nutrition liquid food. There you go. That's another really easy one. If you just pop in a mini fridge. Actually, I really like the Reef Nutrition ones. I have them in my mini fridge and I randomly feed them to the tanks. We lost Joe. Hey, Greg. Swap into the AirPods, eh? Hello. Change your audio input. Aqua Killer. Thank you. Much appreciated for the super chat. Yeah, Reef Nutrition is a good one. Need to look at those liquid foods. I have plank feeding freeze-dried 5 times a day, but I like mixing with frozen. Yeah. No, the plank's actually really cool. There's another cool version of it in the works that I'm playing with for a bit.
I just got my plank. Absolutely love it.
Yep, it's cool.
Oh, I think you had something to do with that, didn't you?
The plank? Yeah, I think I lured you into it. I think it's great. I may have one on each tank now. Okay. You haven't seen it on the other one yet. I don't know if that's officially out. So,
yeah. What I love about the plank is, because the plank takes up, well, you can't see it, but the plank, before I used to love the E-Hive feeders, and you know, I use the Hydros version, and I love the fact that I have one auto feeder that I put everything I need to feed in, and it mixes it up. I don't have to do multiple feeders. I just put whatever food I want to put in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alcaforce has some really good liquid foods as well. I haven't tried those.
So I make my own fish food, and when I'm making my own fish food, I'll put some of the Nios gold pods and some of the other stuff in it. I'll put as much variety in it as possible. Not only the mysis, the dried mysis by PE mysis, I'll put some of the gold pods. I don't ever put anything with aquaforest in it yet, but interesting.
No idea of so many food options. Exactly, right? I'm gonna dig into Alcaforest ones now because I've never actually looked at their food before.
Yeah, I've never actually tried the aquaforest foods before.
I appreciate options. But yeah, refrigerated, love Reef Nutrition. Non-refrigerated, the Nios ones, so they're a bit harder to find. So So what else have you done that's unconventional in way of reef keeping?
Mm. I'm a crazy person. You mean other
you
than
are.
having every auto tester known to man?
Yeah.
I unconventional. Oh,
Exactly.
unconventional
I know.
reef keeping. Other than
I don't want normal. I want weird things.
you are weird.
Like just different.
All right, for you, I gave the first one. What's unconventional for you?
Auto feeder and sump. That's something that I do. I think that's like not really normal.
Yes, you did. That was a good.
That's why it's your turn now.
So I don't know how. It's not really unconventional, but I use Kalkwasser and two-part.
If that's unconventional, I'm with you.
That's not unconventional.
Yeah.
I set up my controller where if my alk is above 9, the auto top off replenishes the tank. If my alkalinity is below 8.7, I think I put the tolerance tight, then Kalkwasser kicks in and the calc stir. Now, it works well. It was terrible. I've tried to implement it before, and it didn't work well because I was using alk testers that would only test every 6 or 4 hours. But now that I'm using the AquaWiz and it tests every hour, it really sort of works.
Nice. I like it.
So I really want to do Kalkwasser as much as possible, but I also don't want to.
Thank you, Alyssa.
It's actually crazy because then I set up dynamic dosing with the controller, so it's not recommended. Please don't do it. But the controller, the Hydros really does the work of if my alkalinity is below 8, top off with water, but then every 4 hours, dose Triton method to make up for the two-part use during the day.
So, okay.
But if my alkalinity is high, just don't dose anything and just keep topping off with fresh water through my ATL.
No, that's fair. That works. So I, at my max, I was dosing plus calcium reactor plus calc. Like that's like 3 different methods in one. And one aspect is like, yes, that's way more complicated. It's hard to keep the balance. But the other side, it's like, oh, look at all this redundancy. If one has an issue, I still got these other systems dosing the tank. So if something crashes, it's not going to dip super fast because you're still supplementing with multiple methods. But there's something to be said. It could, mess with ionic balance and stuff. Might not stay perfectly aligned long term with mixing many different things.
I send out a trade test every 2 months, and then I adjust my minor elements based on that. However, it's not only the minor elements, because right now my calcium is 500, and I'm trying to figure out how to bring it down. I was thinking about buying like ESV salt and playing mad scientist and mixing it up without any calcium, which then the calcium portion of the ESV has a lot of minor elements in it. So I am bringing down calcium, which is great, but then I'm also going to be depleting the tank of a lot of other minor. So it's a catch-22. I don't know how the tank got to be 500 calcium. Have no idea. None whatsoever.
Now, do you think there's any issues of it being 500 calcium? Because I mean, that's the
I
upper
haven't
side.
seen anything. I haven't seen anything. For killers, like just do a water change out probably. I did get a brand new bucket of HW Marine, which I think I'm gonna do some water changes.
Yeah.
But
agreed, aqua color. Just water changes to lower it.
I think I'm gonna do a big one. I'm gonna do like a 50% and then maybe another 50%.
I was similar. I had my calcium on my NIOS tank was 480 something, I think it was, and then I just gave it like a brute water change and now dropped it down to like 460ish. But yeah, similar thing where it's been elevated for ages. Don't know how it got up.
What I think happened, Devin, is when using Instant Ocean and you don't cover the container well enough,
stratification,
it gets hard. I think the last big water change I did, which Aprokil is listening, I think I was talking to him. I remember talking to him when I did this big water change, and he was like, "Why?" I think what happened is salt probably stratified, and all the calcium or whatever ended up at the bottom. That's what I think happened. So when I mixed, I basically had to chisel the instant ocean out of. By the time I finished chiseling and I think that's what happened, because I remember having a conversation with Acrokil, and he's like, "Why?" And then I noticed my calcium was weird, but I didn't pay. I kind of put it off in the back of my brain. But I think that's what happened. I think it's not the salt per se. I'm not blaming it on the salt. But what I think happened is I didn't cover the salt properly, because I do keep the mixing bin and the salt it's in the same closet.
TBJ, that's not a problem if you use it frequently. I think that means you're doing water changes.
Yeah, but when the entire bucket, when like 3/4 of the bucket is that way, I think you do have some. Yeah,
I got 2 new Ghanies today for the collection.
That's unconventional.
Is it?
Full Ghani tank? Because Devin, I pray. I think you're nuts.
Possibly.
Because I wouldn't want to do such a species specific tank, because I don't know, man. I'm thinking. I hope. I'm nervous for you. You don't.
I got
seem
2
to
good
be
cool
unconcerned.
Ones too.
You seem to be unconcerned with my fears.
It's a risk, and so far my biggest issue is a fish knocking a Ghani into the sand bed and me not noticing it for a few days and having a little bit of recession. But overall, they've been, pretty good. I should probably be giving it more water changes than I am, but in general, they seem to be pretty good. And the clown hosts them constantly, and they don't seem to care too much, which is nice. But let me snap a quick photo.
I have something that's unconventional for both of us.
What you got?
We're both semi-remote workers, right?
Yes.
And we both have office tanks.
We do.
I think I'm not saying office tanks are unconventional, but I think the person who has an office tank is typically the person who's in every day. You and I are in our offices 1 or 2 days a week max.
You know what's funny? I have a tank in my home office, and I also have a tank in my work office.
Yes, we're talking about the work office.
And I bribed one of my coworkers really wanted me to bring a fish tank to work, so I did. And now I'm like, okay, I need you to feed him today and tomorrow. He's like, okay. So I have him feed frozen, so they get frozen every weekday.
So I took a video of, my office is in a WeWork where there's other offices. So you can see, this is when you enter, this video is going to play when you first walk through the door. You can obviously see the blue of who is the reefer. Yeah, you see the other office. This is when you first enter my floor. You can obviously see where, right?
Yes. I know which one's your office.
Yeah.
That's a very good point, though. That is a very good one. So, my 2 additions of the day. So, I got a glitter Ghani, which is cool.
You got a glitter?
Yep. I haven't had a glitter yet. So, she's starting to open up. So, I got a glitter Ghani. And I got a flame tip, I think it is, Ghani. So, both some cool ones. So, from Frag Garage.
There's there's some really cool Ghanies in California.
I know. I don't know if I could bring those back, though.
There's no skeleton, is there?
Yes.
I've seen you bring back stuff before, Dev.
Yeah, like zoas and rock flowers. Trust me, if I could get those 2, I would.
Okay.
But yeah, but no, I got a glitter Ghani, so that's cool. That's been kind of one on the list for a while, and the flame tip, so both super cool. So I did some trading with Adam, so I finally got some new corals.
Reef Theory said he's thinking about starting one of the PNR. Yep. I was thinking the same thing. I'm trying to figure out a way. I was thinking of, bringing this to the office. When I'm bringing it, I need, the guy who was walking around with this on his chest, like the chain?
Yes.
I need a way to bring this to the office.
Is it worth it for that? I don't know. That one seems like a lot more work for somewhere that you come and go constantly.
I don't know,
Personally,
Devin.
I
I
would do
think
it
it's gonna
if
be
I had a
worth
big
it.
tank where I can go bloop bloop and give it like an instant water change with like a good
No,
tank.
I think I won't want to take this home and back. Where if I'm going to the office, I put it on my desk, I enjoy it for the day, and then I pack it up and I bring it home.
That's
I'm
way too
actually,
much work.
I'm actually thinking about it.
Battery powered like roaming reef. Yeah, I think that's his name.
There was a guy. Yes, is it Roaming Reef?
Yeah.
Yes, I think it's dumb as it is.
It's
But
way
it's
too
like,
much work. It's
yes,
a
it's
novelty.
way too. He said he got on the plane with it.
I believe it. You could. I mean, that's a cool. If you want to buy frags at a show and bring them home, that's a cool way to do it. But having it as like an established tank you take everywhere with you, like that's a lot of work.
No, no.
If you're like, here's my new frags and here's a little environment to keep them happy. I mean, fair enough. But
I
taking it
have
to work
one.
every day at home, it's too much
No,
work,
no, no,
too
no,
much
not
effort.
every day. No, I'm only in the office 1 or 2 days a week. I,
But
I have an office time. My wife is looking at me like I'm crazy. She's like,
I
she
agree.
came.
They're a cool
She's like,
novelty, but
yeah,
it's way too much work to go back and forth with all the time.
yeah.
It'd be fun
I
for like
brought
a
my kid.
week, but then it would get old after like a few weeks.
I brought my kids to the office. Immediately, the eyes started rolling. Like, oh, Dad, we got a fish tank here too.
Hey, I love my office tank. I think it's awesome. And you know what? People come in all the time and check it out. You know, half the coworkers are in there. You know, they're looking for the shrimp. They're like, they're still. It's been there for like a month, and they're still like, oh, that's new. You know, they like spot all like because I've added all these weird anemone shrimps and all kinds of different weird creatures. So it's fun.
Yeah. When I was there the other day, I went to Petco and there was the tiniest Tomini tank. You
Hmm.
can't tell that's a Hello Reef. He's
Yeah.
like an inch. So
Oh
I
yeah.
bought him.
Nice. He's
Yes.
cool. I like tunas.
I wish I had a picture of the tank, but oh, I do not. Oh, my latest day. Oh, here I am trying to take a photo of my office tank. I installed a filter roller, but stupid me used the box and hit the actual filter roller. So I actually installed a filter roller in my office tank, which I think is going to actually be good for it because then I don't have to swap filter socks.
Let me know how that goes.
Yeah. I'll let you
Oh
know.
no.
But it was I think I also this is not unconventional, but I have two hydro totes. I have the 5 gallon and the 2.5 gallon. So I used to buy water from Petco and get it delivered and do the water changes that way. I just mix my salt water from home and just bring it on the train. I'm on the train, I'm on the subway with these hydro totes.
It's not a bad way to go. I did my first water
Yeah.
change on my office tank last week. I just brought in like 4 to 5 gallons, and I brought 2 buckets. One was salt water, and a little hose. Just did a water change, sucked it out with one, and dumped in a bucket of the new one. Wasn't bad. Took me like 10 minutes.
Ooh, I have something unconventional.
Okay.
It's unconventional maybe to me. So a lot of you out there. So the people on TikTok. So I've been following Acro Killer and those guys on TikTok. Um, I don't remember the name of this. Oh my gosh. I'm about to tell you all it, and I don't. Mag tool or mag something. But do you realize that there's an entire section of like equipment on Amazon that people use and recommend? So I went ahead and during Prime Day, this was on sale. So I needed something for my nano. So I got this cool little skimmer. I took a risk on it, Dev, because it uses a J-Bow pump.
Yep.
And you can always get the J-Bow pumps, but it is so cool. Like it has this cool mechanism where that's how the gate opens and you raise the level.
Nice.
But I put it in my kid's nano, and I have to say it's working really well.
Nice. Perfect.
I mean,
in all honestly, most skimmers are just a copy of each other now. Like they're all gonna skim. I honestly think half the time, like if you buy the more expensive ones, it's like it's quieter, or it skims a little bit better, but it's not like night and day difference, right? Like they're all just clones of each other these days. More control, quieter. Like that's what you're getting if you spend more.
It was really cool to like learn that that there is an entire world out there. It's the mag tool, it's called.
Mhm.
But And even the controller is like a single button that you rotate. But it was really cool to know that there's an entire world out there of like equipment that I never would have tried if I didn't stumble upon like TikTok. Dev, I know you're busy, you got a young kid. I've been there. But man, there's an entire community of like people on TikTok talking reefing. It's a little different. You know, Instagram's a little different than YouTube. It's a different community. But man, those guys are worth checking out. There's an entire community of people out there that's worth checking out.
That's fair.
The equipment they use totally different than what you and I would use.
I created a TikTok, but I haven't used it in ages. I'm like, okay, Instagram and YouTube's enough, and Facebook is like, there's 3. This is enough. I can't post to like 4 or 5 platforms. Like, my account's there, but I never use it. Unconventional, built my own algae script using 3D printed and CNC machine. Nice. Paint scrapers for an algae scraper. That's a good one. Like in the chat, like credit cards, loyalty cards. Like, I even cleaned my glass and pulled out my credit card and scraped it. And I mean, it works well, right? That little edge works pretty darn well. Someone said a minute ago, using AI for reefing. Yes, that actually does work pretty well. You know, he's saying he uses ChatGPT, and I've asked the reefing questions tons randomly, and like the stuff it tells me, I'm like, I agree. So like overall, it's pretty solid for general advice.
I took a picture of my sump and uploaded it to ChatGPT, and ChatGPT. I didn't realize that. I guess when ChatGPT is looking at your pictures, I don't know if it can see things, because most pictures that you take, it probably has some information there that the naked eye can't see. So when I took a picture and uploaded it to ChatGPT, it told me like, hey, and then it said, it appears you also have a titanium heater. I'm like, you can't see that in the picture. And I had to go change like the contrast a lot to be able to see that, oh, it's actually picking up in the corner that there was a titanium heater there.
Solid.
So very impressed. It said, you look like you're using a filter roller and using a skimmer, and it's a decent sized skimmer because it says for the size sump. It was giving me like it. I thought it was cool. I thought it was okay.
Yeah, no, it's pretty solid. You were at it, actually. I think you were at it, but at RAP there was Patrick, Ecotech Patrick, did a talk on AI and reef keeping, and like in his findings too, with all the stuff he did, it was like pretty darn solid for like general advice too. I was like, yeah.
The
I don't know
other
if they've
thing with
released
like,
that or not, but
I imagine with like a custom GPT, and you train it on certain things, right? Imagine you have the way I'm thinking about it, imagine, let's say you have the Triton method and you train it on the Triton method and the history of the Triton method, you give it a bunch of data. You could probably have a custom GPT that'll answer really good questions, right? I imagine if Eshan sits down and feeds the entire history of Triton tests and the solution, I imagine that you can use, yes, it's good, but I'm thinking it can get better.
oh, for sure. Yeah, I mean, it's only as good as the training data, right? So the more like accurate good stuff you feed it, the better it's going to give you recommendations. I think AI is getting better, but also includes advice from people that don't know what they're doing. Also true. Seen some bad advice, but it will improve. Yeah, so I mean, it's only as good as the training data. The training data is the internet, so it's posted publicly. So you're going to have a mix. AI does hallucinate. You need to fact check it. But in my experience, when I've dabbled and asked it reefing stuff, I'd say it's been like 90% solid. Like there's been a few things where I'm like, but overall, I would say it's fairly reliable on stuff that I would agree with.
Yeah.
So not perfect, but hallucinations are still a legit thing.
I would say that, listen, I don't think I'm an expert, but I also don't think I'm a novice. So the questions I would ask, I would hit up a Devin or a reef keeper or a Greg or someone like that, or Acro Killer to ask questions. So I don't know if AI, I think for basic questions, that's where I think it helps. I think, and honestly, and this is where I kind of don't like the forums per se, because someone goes in and asks a question and it can get derailed. Like it just takes 1 or 2 people to derail the conversation, where the person who goes in doesn't even know what they were asking before. Or sometimes you'll go in and you'll Google something, you'll land on a thread. There's someone asks a question, you're like, cool, they asked the exact same question. And you spend time reading through it. You're like, gosh, there was no resolution. It got derailed, you know, by another conversation. But agree with you. I think it's useful, but definitely agree with your reef keeper that it does include stuff from people that don't know what they're doing or questionable. Does have, it's not even hallucination. Hallucination is when it makes stuff up. I think it's just taking questionable advice from whatever source, like on a forum somewhere where someone said something questionable, like
but that does happen. But I would say it's 90% good, 10% questionable overall.
Yep. Are we talking about aqua illumination or artificial intelligence?
Yeah. Artificial intelligence. Sorry.
Well, you said inelegance, and I actually prefer that word.
Oh, that's funny. I didn't even notice that. I totally typoed it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like AI isn't actually AI. It's predictive. It's like, what's the most likely best thing to say? You know, when you're typing a message and it tries to guess your next word, it's just that on steroids at the end of the day. But yeah, no, it's good. Like, I use it all the time and I think it's great. And I use it for, you know, reword this and, you know, tweak this and
that type of stuff. It
summarize information. Like, it's good at that type of stuff.
Although I am getting better at spotting when someone has just taken something with ChatGPT and just written it.
I fed it. Yeah, you can tell. You still got to like tweak it, but there's certain like consistent traits that it does that you'll just notice. I
agree.
I fed it microscope photos of like algae and different things, and usually it's actually not bad. It's usually like reasonably good. And there was like those weird little like brown thingies that were in my culture that one day I tried feeding it, but that one, it just gave me random stuff that I didn't agree with. But so I'm going to say, you know, like overall it's decent, but not 100%.
Okay.
Yep. Dun dun dun. AI or AI. It'd be funny if AI releases like an AI for their stuff. I think it'd be cool if some of the companies do it like a AI tune your lights or something, right? It's like, here's the dimensions of my tank, here's the coral, or just feed it a photo and it could like tune your flow and your lights based off the type of coral you're keeping. Like, that could be a cool like new person thing.
You know what? I actually have to go back. It took me so long, but did you see something that Ryan did with Serious Reefs where he said you can actually take the wattage of your lights and actually guess within a reasonable level what par it is?
Yeah.
And I actually have to go upload my results. I couldn't find my kilowatt. I had to go buy a new one on Amazon. But when I finally did the test yesterday, it was actually not far off.
I saw the notification. I haven't watched it yet, but I will try it. Because I mean, I'll bust out the par meter and then do it and do like a comparison. I'll see how close it is.
Yes. Then I think he sent out a link where he wants people. I'll forward you the link. He wants, once you've done it, he wants you to add it to. He started a reef to reef conversation. So I'm yet to go. I got to go and add my results there.
I'm a couple of weeks behind. I got a lot of catching up to do there.
Yeah.
I have I have Vic coming over tomorrow, so I gotta do some house tidying. So because my tank's gonna be in the video, so I gotta clean up my house tonight. Got homework.
There we go. Name dropping.
Yep. Hey, I'm building out a little podcast studio, so he's gonna be my first test subject. So hopefully it works.
There we go. Name dropping.
Yep. Do just for fun, I got my little side project I've been trying to build. I'll show you guys. Oh, you've already seen it, but
this is now your #1 fan.
Yeah. So I'm building a little like podcasty studio as like a side thing for doing like in-person ones. So I'm working on it.
Okay.
It's in the works. It'll be good. Oh, you don't have a number anymore. Oh, you're my #1, buddy.
It's Elisa Acro Killer and
Dun, dun, dun.
Reef Theory. Jeez. Wow.
Need neon
I am number 6. At least I'm ranked higher than Greg, who's number 25.
Need neon lights in the background. Hey, I put LED tubes to wash the wall. A little bit of color, you know. It's potential.
Okay.
I think it'll be fun. I spent, speaking of AI, I was doing some late night coding with ChatGPT, building a script. So I have a thing that it monitors the audio levels of the different mics. And I got a A10 Mini you can control it via software. So I have a script that monitors the audio levels, and if someone's talking louder than the other person for a few seconds, it will send a command to the switcher to change to that camera. So that it should auto swap to who's talking on its own. So I'm trying to get fancy so it's like easy to produce and not a lot of work for me. So this was some late night coding and scripting the other day, trying to like perfect this. So I haven't actually fully tested it yet. So it's gonna get a maiden voyage test soon.
Yeah,
Tomorrow.
wow.
Hopefully it works.
Don't you think that's a lot of automation?
Yep. So hopefully it works.
Okay.
Yeah. All or nothing, we'll find out.
Okay.
But these are the weird things I do in the wee hours of the night. I don't know if I want AI running my tank. You know, you don't let it do everything for you. But I think if you are new and don't have experience, it could help guide you. Hopefully not in the wrong direction, but food for thoughts. But
Okay.
if you had something to like give you recommendations, okay, like this par level would be good, you know, roughly this percentage for your lights, you know, they give you like, you know, obviously not perfect, but general guidance to put you off in like, you know, the happy medium step without being too high or too low. There's potential there.
Okay.
It's like if you had, okay, I have a 6-foot tank. I have this pump here, you know, and here I have this many lights. This is the type of coral in my tank. You'd be like, okay, so your light should be at, you know, 40 to 60%. Your pump should be at, you know, 50 to 80%. Like it could be something like that. It could give you estimations based on your tank to give you like a good start.
Elisa's asking me what else is on my desk. Is that a segment we're gonna do now?
What's on O's desk? What's up for show and tell today? Yes.
I'll tell you what's on my desk, and I don't know. I think
Did you get any Chero?
I think something happened. I think I chose to go back to actually no. So you're a little bit behind. You said serious reefs. So you remember few weeks ago or months ago when there was when Ryan and Elliot did a video on making your own acclimation box.
Yes.
So there's a company in New York called Canal Plastics.
Mm-hmm.
So I said, all right, I need to do it myself. So I ordered the dimensions for the 180-gallon tank. And I gotta say, Dev, for the acrylic pre-cut to whatever I need to make 2 acclimation boxes.
Nice.
With tax, about $80.
Not bad at all.
So I can make 2 acclimation boxes for $80.
And they'll be bigger than the dinky ones you buy online.
Well, this is cheaper than buying like an acclimation box. So that's actually really cool. So I'm going to make it. Of course, this is the, what do you call it? They call it saw cut, but it's still, I thought it was going to be rough, but it's still cool.
Yeah,
and this is 1/4-inch acrylic, which is, I think, thicker than a lot of the acrylic that we get when you buy like a acclimation box. So I'm excited to put this together. I'm not someone who's very handy, but I'm excited to actually put this together to see how it's going to be.
Yeah, just get a little weld on 16 and glue it up and you'll be golden.
I have all that weld on, so I'm excited. So I'm going to make 2. I figured I would buy 2 because, you know, no, I'm not anti-DIY. I'm just not good at it.
Okay, so my gripe with a lot of the pre-made ones that you find online is they're tiny. Like I feel like they're too small for a fish to live in for like a week or 2. Like they're tiny. Or if you DIY one for the same price, you get like a way bigger one.
You can well. The other thing is, I am thinking that so my plan is if this goes well, then maybe I'll give away the second one, somewhere. But then if I do this, then I'll figure out how to scale it up, right? I'd actually scale it up because if anyone goes to Petco, my acclimation box is a Petco critter keeper, and then I drill holes in it. But then when I was watching that conversation with Ryan and Elliot, something Elliot said is he's like, hey, when you put fish in it, they actually do swim along the sides a lot. And when you put the hole in it, you actually allowing them to
scrape up against it.
to scrape up against it. So that's actually a good point.
Yeah, that's not something I considered either, but it makes sense.
Yeah.
Sleep
Barely
wisdom.
Reefer Ryan on Serious Reef mentioned O's long trip to save money on Instant Ocean when it's on sale. Is it true? Absolutely true. I just showed you guys my salt. Like I carry my salt water on the subway.
You
That's
don't
on
need
the
a gym.
subway.
You just get a bucket of IO in each
That's up.
jug, and you're good. You charm.
I have a 2.5 gallon and a 5 gallon of hydro tote, and I will mix my salt water at home. I know it's washed out, and bring it into the office. So yeah, absolutely.
I appreciate your
That is
dedication. Mine
that is
goes in
my
the trunk
office
of the
tank,
car, so it's not as
lights
hardcore
off.
as a subway.
With my Chandler rocks. Yeah,
How's it faring so far?
it's looking so good.
Nice.
So yeah, that was me doing a water change in my. So washed out. That was me doing a water change in my office with the 5 gallon one had salt water, and the 2.5 gallon had RODI water. But yes,
Size of O's bicep as he's just pumping his 5 gallons as he's going on the subway, you know?
you get that thing for $30 when it's on sale, which allows you to then get
2 of them.
the other thing that Ryan sort of convinced me. It's interesting he mentioned it. I didn't know he mentioned it, but the other thing when I was at Reefapalooza, he and I had a deep conversation. He's like, "Oh, you do realize that if you wait on," and he was absolutely correct. He's like, "If you wait for like something like a salt is on sale, let's say Tropic Marine is on sale or HW Marine is on sale." He's like, you're not spending. If you consider that you get 150 gallons of Instant Ocean when it's mixed at a really low salinity, so you're getting only about 110, 120 gallons normal salinity. Yeah, because
What?
Instant Ocean, do you ever look at the box Instant Ocean? They give you 150 gallons based on like
I thought it's 200 or
1.018
something.
for the bucket. No, it's based on like 1.018 or really low salinity.
You sure?
Yes.
I feel robbed.
Yeah. It says so on the box.
This is 1.5 pounds, makes 5 gallons of 1.022. What about the big ones? Well, I feel robbed.
Yes, you actually do not get. I mean, you actually don't. So if you
I'll still buy it because
salt,
it's
like
cheap, but I still feel robbed.
well, yeah, it's cheap. But
It's not even
now
cheap,
that
though. It's expensive.
now that my tank is past the phase where I actually need to do like so many water changes, I'm gonna switch to something else. If I'm only doing a water change, the way I calculated it, if I switch to something like HW Marine and I buy it when it's on sale, I'm only spending an extra $5-6 a month. It's not that much in the grand scheme of things when you consider the different salinity. So I might be making a switch, but I love my Instant Ocean.
My
You will
options
never
are not
hear
as
me say,
plentiful.
huh?
My options here are not as plentiful as yours.
Tropic Marine is 100.
Locally, there's probably Red Sea, IO, or Reef Crystals. Anything else, I'm paying shipping, which kills any of the deals and it just makes it expensive to ship buckets.
The store. By the way, sometimes the Petco in-store price and the Petco online price can be something different. The in-store box of Petco of sea salt, the Pro Reef sea salt by Tropic Marine, was about $90, which is actually a really good deal.
Yeah, but just for like difference, like I'm just looking at J&L, which is in Vancouver. Red Sea Blue Bucket, $124. Instant Ocean Bucket, $70. It's like $50 more.
Yeah. Locally, my
It's
only
rough.
option is IO or Tropic Marine. Yeah.
Yep. Basically, that's mine. Sometimes they have Red Sea in, sometimes they don't.
Trav, sign up for auto ship, save 30%, then cancel auto ship.
When we sign up again.
I am
That
not.
was life hack.
I'm not saying I have not been guilty of it. I'm not saying everyone in my house doesn't have their own Petco account. I'm just not advocating for that on Devin's stream because Devin is Canadian and Canadians are honest people.
And we don't have those luxury options. And it's for me on like Amazon or any of those places, it's more expensive than buying at the LFS. Like I might as well go to the LFS and buy it and support them. But like even Amazon, it's like $170 or something ridiculous for a box because it includes shipping.
No. Amazon is expensive for salt. I never buy it. But Chewy here, Chewy is in the US. That's where you get good salt. Yeah, it's not.
We have a PetSmart, and it's sometimes on sale. And if it is, I'll buy like 3 or 4 buckets. Otherwise,
PetSmart doesn't exist anymore.
It does here.
Oh. Yeah.
Oh, sign his neighbors up for Petco, probably. You just rotate down the hallway, knock, knock, knock. Would you like some coffee? Can I bribe you for auto ship? And then you cancel, you know?
I think I just shop around on wherever it's on sale. I looked at it, and the last time I purchased Instant Ocean on Amazon, I purchased it May 15, 2021, and it was $44. I had it was expensive. I had a gift card, so I used the gift card and brought it down. So yeah, it's just shop around, guys. But I like to when stuff is on sale at BRS or wherever, I'll buy.
Mm-hmm. But like for me, like LFS, like 100, like the box that does 200 gallons, you know, probably a little less with their scammy measurements is like $90 to $100. So that's like the only practical way if it's not on sale somewhere and stocking up on buckets.
Oh my gosh!
Or the true life hack, you just have a LFS and you trade them coral and then they give you salt. That's the true way to go here. You grow corals, they overgrow, you trade to store, you get free salt. This is the true solution for long-term reefing.
Chewy started selling aquaforest salt too. Interesting. The other cool thing I like about Chewy is it tells you what the price per gallon is, what you're paying per gallon.
That's nice.
For the salt. So you're able to compare. Like even when I'm buying supplies for my dog, Mighty's Reef say pays $50 for the Instant Ocean. Yeah. Wherever you get it for sale, man. Like I am a consumer. I love when this stuff is on sale. Like we benefit. Like when BRS has those giveaways, we benefit. Now, guess what? Saltwater Aquarium is doing giveaways too. You think I'm complaining about that? No. Champion Lighting and Supply should be doing giveaways. What's the one in Chicago? The consumers benefit when companies are in competition with each other for customers. We, the consumers, benefit. So I'm all for competition, man. It grows the hobby, and we benefit.
I would concur.
Yes.
So not unconventional, but yeah, I don't know. I just use whatever's cheap and on sale, to be honest, these days. I have so many people ask me, like, how do you switch salts and all that stuff? There's no secret to it. Just start doing water change with the new one. Easy as that.
Yeah.
People stress out way too much about it.
Yeah, I've heard people say, oh, I mixed half the old one and half the new one. No, I just...
If you need to like level out the parameters of the elks, like one super low, one super high, and you need the middle, sure. But it doesn't really matter otherwise.
If your alkalinity is 8 and you do a 50% water change with a salt that's 10 alkalinity, your alkalinity doesn't go up that much in the grand scheme of things. It does not. Yeah. So I think how many people are doing 50%, 100% water changes?
That's like emergency situation, not normal.
Yes, which I think your alkalinity spiking. If you're at the point where you're doing 100% water change, I think stuff is going wrong where you're not worried about an alk spike, right?
Yeah, you just got to deal with what you got to do if it's at that point. Okay, so TBJ, what's everyone's go-to, orange or purple if you're using Instant Ocean? I personally just use purple because it mixes cleaner and it's cheaper. If you were not dosing, relying strictly on your salt to supplement stuff, there is elevated levels in reef crystals. But if you're dosing and supplementing otherwise, then I just use purple. It's cheaper and your bin stays cleaner.
I think there's very, very few instances I would use reef crystals because I think the extra you pay if you buy like some BRS bulk 2-part, because you're paying for the extra calcium and magnesium. I think if you buy bulk 2-part over a longer period of time, it'll be more economical. Also, Devin, if you mix that and you don't use it immediately, it precipitates out really, really quickly. And I don't know about you, but reef crystals leaves that nasty like
That's probably the
Instant
biggest reason I
Instant
use
Ocean does
Instant
it
Ocean.
long term, but reef crystals does it really
Hey, your
quickly.
bin's all like brown and funky after
Yes.
a while. That orangey brown,
So-
like I like my bins clean.
True.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
accidentally nuking with reef crystals went to purple after watching Potovids.
I'm gonna have to go watch. I didn't.
You know?
Maybe there was something.
Okay.
Mhm.
Do got to wrap her up soon. I still have to do way too much house cleaning since my tank's going to be videoed, not by me. So I'll wrap her up soon. Any questions we missed? If you do anything crazy unconventional, let us know in the comments. 'Cause I'm curious. If you like clean tropic marine, 100% agree with you. It's like double the price. If it was cheaper and readily available, I'd love to use it more often. But tropic marine stuff is awesome. I'm still a big fan of the Alpha Reef. Yep.
Miguel M says HW Reefer. That's what I bought the last time, so I'm really excited to go use HW Marine.
Who else keeps their elk
HW
at
Marine
7?
Reefer.
I've actually been keeping mine lower lately. Like, mid 7s to mid 8s, like 7, 9, whatever. Like, I've actually been keeping a bit lower lately, and stuff still seems happy and haven't really noticed much of a difference.
Once I mixed up a huge batch of Triton recently. Like I used a Triton Flex where you mix it down to 2 parts, and I mixed up 4-liter, 8-liter batch, which is 2 4-liters.
Yep.
Once that's finished, going back to my calcium reactor. Because then I'm at the point where I'm dosing like 40 mils of Triton, and it's making me. I think when you get that high up in dosing, I think it's time to consider your calcium reactor.
So this is probably still a lot of dosing, but I've intentionally lowered my calcium reactor and then started dosing a bit more just to try and up my pH a bit. But right now I'm doing calcium reactor plus like 100 mils of Alpha Reef in the water box. And then the other tank, I'm just doing straight up Alpha Reef. So I'm doing a bit of a mix, but I'm trying to dose a little more in calcium reactor, a little less. Like it's still a lot of dosing, but.
Yeah. I think what I'll probably do is probably get a refugium and just put the effluent there.
If you have a calcium reactor too, I should do this. I haven't done it in a while, but if you feed it into your skimmer intake too, that will help off-gas any of the CO2.
Interesting.
Yeah, that helps. Right now, mine just drips into my refugium, but I should probably put it into my skimmer one day when I get motivated to move it over.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. I'll think about it. I don't know how I'm going to get it in. I'll think about it. Maybe put it, maybe drip it into the standpipe.
Yeah. Are you still dosing kelp? I haven't dosed kelp in a little while. There was a small leak in my reactor, so I pulled it off and I just haven't bothered putting it back on yet. So one day I will get some glue, do a big bead around it and fix it.
Reefkeeper said I spy always going back to the Triton method refugium. Who says I haven't gone back to a refugium?
I have one tank refugium, one tank no refugium, 50-50.
Ooh, I don't know. I like a refugium.
I noticed there is a bunch of Aptasia living within my Cato. So I put a couple nudies in there just to let them do their thing. I was like, yeah, maybe a little breed in my refugium. We'll see how this goes. So I just put a few in there for fun.
Oh, I thought you were going to tell me you got a new piece of equipment.
No, nothing.
Algae scrubber / Chato reactor.
No, sadly, I don't have one of those yet. What the heck, Kyle?
Oh.
Look at him.
That's what I thought you were going to say.
I should give him heck
We were talking about refugium.
Supposed supposed to give me one day. Unconventional DIY, all the chemicals for all the elements in the Moonshiner program. I mean, you could mix your own. The hard part is just figuring out the ratios, but I mean, you could once you figure that out. The nudies don't work some peppermints in the fuge, cleaned up my sump. You know what's been freaking amazing? Between pressure washing my rock, which is slightly overkill, but absolutely worked, and adding the filefish, I cannot even find, I think I found one Aptasia in my NIS, and there used to be hundreds in there a few weeks ago. The transformation is night and day, the difference.
Okay.
Yep. Like, looking at my tank now, I don't see a single Aptasia, where 3 weeks ago, I probably could have counted 200 of them. So between the tag team method, it's been phenomenal.
I want to go back to something Reefkeeper said. I hope these companies take notice. The prices are so high now that many people are going back to tried and true IO or whatever is cheaper. I'm going to just expand on that and say, and I think the price of reefing or the prices in general are really high.
Everything
That's
in
one of
life
the
is high.
reasons.
Not just
I
reefing.
know, that's
everything is.
That's one of the reasons I was so happy.
Expensive.
I don't telling me. I live in one of the most expensive cities in the world. That's why I was so excited to go get that mag tool skimmer, because it was so cheap. It was so cheap compared to the other options I was looking at. So hopefully people take the opportunity to look at lower costs. That's why I was so excited at Rap Orlando, and I hear they're going to be in Cali at just the budget stuff that someone like Maxspec has. So excited for that. So hopefully some of the more,
Have you used the Maxspec skimmers? Like they have
Never.
their fancy dual pump one, but they also have their like more budget friendly ones, like the Duo, and then I forget what the cheaper ones are called. The I don't know, let's go look at BRS site and
The
look it up.
Duo interests me because it seems like it pulls so much air.
Yes.
And I'm always interested in how much air a skimmer pulls. Never, I would absolutely.
Okay, I'm looking on BRS site. They have the jump version, which is orange instead of blue. I have no idea the difference, but it's way cheaper than the other one. I don't know if it's just smaller, but they also have that. But I was talking to Ryan way back when, and like he really seemed to like the Maxspec one. He's like, and it's pretty dang quiet. Like I seriously debated it. So I don't know. One day I'll probably try it. But I'm curious how the jump ones compare to the more expensive ones. Like what's the difference?
Well, I think the pump, looking at it, I think the pump is different. The pump on the jump ones look different.
I mean, it's orange instead of blue, but what else is the difference?
It looks like yeah, you know what? That's true. Could it be that it's the same pump?
It's probably like injection versus cast molded. Like there's probably like quality thing. I don't know. I'm curious though. Thinner acrylic. Yeah, I'm assuming it's just, heavier duty, better, but One day I feel like I'm gonna want to try one of those. Like if I ever have a skim ratio, I'll probably try one for fun. Because it intrigues me and I think it's a cool design. And supposedly they're super quiet, which obviously speaks to me.
I think even something as simple as how you disconnect the stump is different. There's some subtle differences. The neck, the cup.
Yeah, because
there are some subtle differences. Even I think even the controller is different because one is probably going to come with the Maxspec Cloud Edition controller.
Okay.
Like whatever controller they're using on the Gyre Cloud Edition. And then, so I imagine there's going to be some differences.
Yeah.
That's interesting, though.
Zach, any thoughts on the Hydros X10? That's all you. What do you got?
X10. Wait, did I lose you? I think I lost you. Oh, there you go.
I'm still here.
I like the Hydros X10. I am running it. I think the X10 really makes sense in the context of if you're going to run the IV with it. That's where it makes it economical.
Oh, that's the little guy with the dosing pumps on the side, right?
Yes. Yeah, I think the X10 makes sense with an IV, with the IV. So yeah, it's a good one. If you're going to dose 4 chemicals, I think it's great. I have one. Absolutely love it. Had it relatively early on. I no longer run the IV because I have so many out testers. Alcatronic, KH Carer, Trident, um, AquaWiz. Just so many controllers. I didn't need it, but I think it's a solid unit. It has pH. What's the other one? pH. It has salinity on it. So yeah, I do like it. Yeah.
Perfect. Brennan's Reef. You lost confidence in hydros after teasing the Maven. I wouldn't hold my breath on it. That's all I will say.
Yeah.
I think
at
they
this
announced
point,
that too
I've
early,
heard-
and I think they did it just because of the Trident NP was coming out. That's my theory.
Agreed.
I think they did it to
Agreed.
mess
I
with the
think so
Trident
too.
NP, and then they shot themselves in the foot because it wasn't ready yet. But that's my speculation.
My thinking is, now I know you and I are sitting here waiting and like shut ourselves in the foot, but how many people do you hear saying we're waiting for the Maven?
I've heard many, and I've heard people say
Yes.
that they
I was
bought a
watching a
hydros for the
worldwide
Maven instead of something else. And
I
then they're
was
like,
watching a
"Doo-doo-doo-doo."
Worldwide Corals video today, and the guy was like, "We left a spot here for the Maven." And I was like, "What?" So
Yeah,
whatever it is, I'm sure it worked to some extent.
one day.
Hopefully soon.
Yep.
Hopefully soon. It looks like a really cool device, so hopefully really soon. You want to talk
Speaking of
about
testing
unconventional?
everything one day, I just saw the Maxtronic Essentials was released on BRS today,
Ah.
which kind of intrigues me because they ditched the needle in it and it uses a drop counter now. So there's less stuff to maintenance and less moving parts, which is always a benefit. So I'm kind of intrigued by this.
1,500. Oh my god.
Yeah, not cheap.
Oh my god. While you look that up, TBJ Crawler said, "You want to talk about unconventional? What about pouring vodka in your tank for carbon dosing?"
Oh,
I
I've
used to
done
do
that.
that too.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I think I used to get more cyano with vodka, but I switched to vinegar or a mixture of vinegar and alcohol and vodka. But yes,
I did vodka way back in the day.
me too. Brennan's Reef said he's not buying the first year. And Zach Roy, the AquaWiz seems solid. I have an AquaWiz, been running one for about 5 months now, 4 or 5 months.
Now they
I
need
now trust it.
they need
Where
an Aqua
it's
Whiz for every other parameter that doesn't take reagents. Good luck, but that'd be sweet.
I trust it now where it's my primary alg tester. It took me 4 or 5 months to get here, but I absolutely trust it. One of the things I did is, because I think I want to eventually get down to one alg tester, but I kept my HANA checkers on my desk, so I'm going to start checking
I like
using
your
my
little
HANA
case.
checker more. Yes. Other stuff on my desk I can't show, but
Okay, so for my own curiosity, here's a photo of the Maxtronic Essentials. But I appreciate that they're simplifying things. So the old one had a spinning carousel where it looks like all these vials are held in place. And there's no needle anymore because every once in a while, like you'd have to replace the needle, or like if it got bent, if it was something that lined up, that happened once or twice. So this way, there's no needle, there's no spinning thing, and looks like there's just magnetic stirs below the reagents. It's
so then how does the things drain?
If you look at the vial, I see multiple tubes. So there's probably one to fill, one to drain. And it looks like the magnetic stirs on each side. I see 3 of them by the looks of it. So I wonder if those move or they just have it on the ones that need stirring. I don't know. But
so $1,500.
Yeah, that's
You
not
get
cheap.
Alcatronic, alkalinity, which I don't need to have so many alk testers, calcium, magnesium, PO4, and NO3. Next time you and I talk, then we have to start doing. I think you and I should do this. We should set up a Google sheet between us and start keeping a running tab on the total cost of ownership of these tests, because we need a way to compare them.
Well, here's the other big thing for me too, is like, what frequency are you testing? Like, I don't necessarily need to know my magnesium and calcium and nitrogen phosphate, constantly, but once a week, it's nice to know these things. So in that case, something like this, like the Maxtronic or ReefBot or something that we can periodic test, will be cheaper in the long run. But if you want to know it
That's
every
why I
day,
think
then maybe it is, maybe it isn't. Then you got to start comparing the testing, right? So the frequencies also plays into it, and that's another consideration.
that's why I think you and I need to do a spreadsheet where I think by default we would have to, because the Trident's been out so long and the Trident tests X and it's made for, we would obviously start with the Trident tests, right? And then we would say once a day, like we only need to know ALK, and then go to what you said once a week. And we would, so we can, what I think is actually cool is we would start with what the manufacturer says how many tests you get. Then later on, when we actually get our hands on it, or we have someone we trust, like for instance, ReefKeeper might have one of these devices, or we might trust.
Probably has all of them.
Could actually get could actually get real world data, and because sometimes what's actually, like for instance, the Trident says is 2 months. Most times you get 2 months, but when you run high parameter like me, you don't get 2 months because it uses a lot of reagents to test, right? So I actually think we should just create a spreadsheet, Devin, and we should start filling that in, because I think something like this, someone is looking at $1,500 and they're like, okay, how does this compare? Not from a sticker shock price tag, but how does it compare from a total cost of ownership over a year? Remember when the Alcatronic first came out? It was $900.
Yeah.
But I think when you looked at it over the course of 2 years, 3 years, 4 years,
it was cheap.
Right. Agreed.
Yeah. You know, so I personally am happy. I'll spend an extra $500 up front if it's going to cost me less money every year ongoing. Like I personally always look at the long-term costs, because it sometimes makes more sense. If it's $500 up front, but it costs you way more per year in reagent, then is it really saving you money? Like initially, yes, but long-term, no. So you need to look at both aspects.
Yep. So for instance, the Focustronic or the Mastertronic or even the Maven, when it comes out, I will never use it for alkalinity tester, because there's so many other more cost-effective ways to test alkalinity. So I think I've heard David, the owner of CoralView, in conversations, like in interviews, quote like 4 to 6 or 8 cents a test alkalinity when you're using. So it's really cheap. So, yeah. So I think that's something you and I should. So the next time we have this conversation, hopefully we have something to share. But
we'll go
Brennan,
hardcore.
it depends
We'll do
on
a
how
hardcore
far,
like auto tester talk in the next few weeks.
Yeah. Brennan, you know what? Dev? I actually think I don't know if it's going to be next week, but the next time we talk, we should talk all about testers of what's now and what's coming. And
sounds like fun.
If we decide we're going to do it next week or 2 weeks from now,
all right,
I would love to be able to follow up with the stuff that's not released yet, and see if we can get some words or some quotes. I would love to.
We can speculate, but you can't say anything.
To be fair, like if we email CoralView or whoever and say, hey, we're going to be talking about testers, can you give us a quote about what we can say from the company? And if it's like, hey guys, we're working on it to bring you the best product, like we'll be fair to them and we'll say that.
Yeah, I know for sure.
Of course, we can speculate. So
yeah, we can only speculate though. You can't say 100% if it's not available to buy yet, right? Like if no one has it, it's all speculation. All right.
Yep. But I would love to also get
Phil owns one and can give us his feedback. Testing. We got nothing.
Yeah. Yeah. I agreed. So yeah. I think you and I will work on that in the background. But $1,500, that's a steep price. Someone said something about break even. I don't know if I'm looking for these devices to break even. I just want to know, because the Mastertronic Essential, you might be paying $1,500 up front, but if this thing is going to cost you $200 a year to get all these parameters tested couple times a week, I would absolutely think it's a great investment.
Yeah, we gotta go down the rabbit hole and like calculate what the reagent cost is and all that jazz, and like how many tests estimated, blah blah blah, to like fully go deep into this, which I think will be good. Just off initial looking at the photos, I appreciate that they simplified the design into less moving parts. So there's there's less pumps to calibrate, there's no needles to deal with, like there's less stuff to maintain. Because after having multiple auto testers, long term, like there's almost like auto tester fatigue because there's so many things to calibrate and deal with and maintain after a certain point. You know, if you have one, it's not a big deal. But when you have multiples of them, you're like, oh yeah, this needs to be calibrated, that needs to be maintained. Like there's all these other things. So I appreciate simplifying designs into less maintenance. That's, you know, obviously I haven't used it yet, but just like looking at photos and like seeing how the design is, I appreciate that iteration.
I loved my Alcatronic. The only thing was, man, that thing is loud.
Agreed.
Because, excuse me, after going through other Alc testers, the Alcatronic is big. It's sealed because it's sealed, like it closes the door, and the thing is sealed away from light, from the elements, from dust. Because the KH Kara, I love it, but it's not sealed away from light, from dust. It's not. Again, the only thing I can think about the Mastertronic is the software kind of sucked, but it had it
got better
it
over
was
the
loud.
years.
No,
Yeah.
it's gotten better, but
Yeah.
it was loud. But other than that,
They did release a
really,
kit to make it quieter, which I definitely installed. And it
Okay.
did help.
And
But yes.
the other thing also is it actually gave you. I love the fact that it actually gave you when you need. Okay, so replacing the tube and servicing it was easier. The KH Carer, I love the device, but man, servicing it ain't as easy as servicing the Alcatronic. It tells you when the tubing needs to be replaced. I didn't follow the instructions, and after a while, my tube popped, my tube burst, the one that brings in the reagent.
Oh, that's
So the only thing I had about the Alcatronic, man, is that it was loud.
So what I found, there was a gasket and a screw, and it depends where it was. If it's floated in the middle where the screw wasn't touching the plastic, it was quiet. If it touched the plastic, then it like vibrated the motor noise throughout the machine. So even just loosening the screws and like re-shimming it to the right spot and tightening it made it way better. But not everyone's going to rip it apart and do that. I, of course, will do that. But
I'm going to be honest with you, Dan.
Yeah.
Even if you get the Alcatronic 50% quieter than what you said, the KH Carer is like beats it, because the only time you hear the KH Carer is when it's bringing water in, and when it's bringing water in, not even when it's emptying.
Yeah.
When it's emptying, it's silent. It's only the pump that brings water in you hear. When it's built, if you're not looking at the device and seeing the alkalinity reading go up, you will not know it's testing. It's bringing in reagent. So I'm telling you, I understand about the Alcatronic, and I've been to Greg's house, and Greg's own was like so much quieter than mine. I am telling you that the IV, which all you hear is the pump clicking,
never used
and the
that.
KH Carer beats it in. The only thing was it was so loud. Only thing. That's the thing that killed me.
Yeah.
It was loud.
It was when the regions was like the
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
That's the test. Yes. The other thing is also, man, is I'm now expounding the benefits of the Alcatronic after I had already gotten rid of my original unit. The electronics are completely separate from the water. So the water pump leak and everything. Oh, it's a great thing. Yeah. I know you got to go, but man, our next conversation should be
all right. Obviously, we're going to go down an auto tester rabbit hole in the near future. This is the precursor. Yeah. It's just spawned the inspiration for upcoming streams.
Yes.
Should be good.
It does. It's only loud. But this Mastertronic Essentials, absolutely. Hopefully I can get my hands on one. Focustronic, if you need a tester.
You know your guys.
Hey, I'm gonna reach. I have an Instagram account called Reef Shill that I used to like shill. I'm actually gonna reach out to them with Reef Shill and ask for one. You know, I was accused of being like a shill, so I said, "Hey guys, I'm gonna own it. I'm gonna create an account called Reef Shill that I shill with." So, Focustronic, if you guys get a message from someone named Reef Shill, it's me. I'm not hiding my shilling.
Shill away, good sir. All right, guys. Hopefully you guys enjoyed today's live stream. A little overdue. Have to wrap it up soon. Alyssa, Aqua Killer, thank you guys for super chats. Much, much appreciated. As always, you enjoyed it, hit the like button. And we're obviously going to go down an auto tester rabbit hole in the near future after today's conversation. So it should be fun. We're gonna have to do some
Sorry.
math and some calculations and kind of like figure out like long-term costs. But I think that's very important to consider because I don't think a lot of people do. Lots just
Maybe
look at
we use
initial upfront.
ChatGPT to do the calculations for us.
Maybe we will, and then we can incorporate that into another one. But yeah, it should be fun. All right, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Hit the like button.
Thank you, everyone. Always a pleasure.
Thank you as always for joining me. I always enjoy our rabbit hole conversations.
Thank you.
Awesome. Okay, thanks so much, guys.
All right.
Have a
Good night, everyone. Bye.